What's up, guys? Back with some more Larry content. If you know anything about 10th gen F-150s, you know how terrible the factory audio is in these trucks. And so today we're going to be starting our journey of doing a full system. Head unit, speakers, tweeters, amp, and subs. Honestly, I want to start doing some more audio stuff in all of the trucks. We have full systems in 2, and it's awesome. I love it. But it's hard to go from those trucks back into trucks that are completely stock. It's just not the same experience. So if you have any cool ideas for any of the trucks, like the Duramax, since we did the captain seats in the back, we've got to have a custom box that goes in the middle, in the rear. So if you know any of those for sale, drop a comment if you think we should potentially try to build one. Never done that in my life, but we could probably somehow manage to do it. Either way, a lot of cool ideas for a lot of different trucks, and so drop your comments down below. But today we are going to be addressing old Lair Bear. I went ahead and picked up what I think is going to be a cost-efficient yet really good head unit for this thing that's not going to involve cutting the whole thing up. It is a little bit different than what I typically do, but if we look at that right there, I mean, you can't go very wrong, right? I mean, we got a freaking cassette player still. Holy freaking crap. Now, this truck does have the optional 6-disc. Yes, Lair Bear was balling back in 97. Ain't no doubt about that. I don't know if all that gets eliminated or not. Either way, let's go ahead and start tearing this thing apart and get that new head unit in there. Yours should have 3 bolts holding this airbag thing in there. Ours is broken. Now, to get your factory head unit out, you've got these little tools that you guys stick in these holes in order to release it. And it should just click, releasing. No, that ain't what we wanted to do. There it is, just like that. So when you stick it in there, you need to pull them out because there's this guy right here that releases. So you don't have to rip your head unit off like I did the faceplate. Stick them in till they click, push them out, and then it should slide right on out, just like that. And then we can hopefully get enough to unplug everything back here. So here's our new head unit. It is a 2-piece design, so it is going to stick out some, but this is going to prevent us from having to cut up the dash on our truck, because if you go with the full inset one, you're going to have to do some trimming and cut out a bunch of stuff. And so I just figured we'd go ahead and give this kind of style a shot. So this is the Boss Elite BE10ACP.XC, and it does come with a reverse camera, which is another thing that we really need to do on a lot of these trucks, because with the tint that we typically run, it is very hard to see backing up at night, especially if it's raining, and a backup camera would be super nice. So we're going to be throwing that on as well. So we've got the head unit, we've got the screen, we've got our pack, which is all pre-wired thanks to Crutchfield. We've got our new bezel, which has a little trim piece, or a little cubby underneath, which is cool. We've got our mic. We've got some kind of, I don't know what this is for. Got the pack unit plugged in. It goes into the factory harness. And then we've got our mic pulled through. I know you're supposed to mount it up top and stuff. I'm literally just going to put mine right here. Just simply run it down through here with a coat hanger. I'm going to stick it right down here somewhere. And then for our backup camera, we've got it ran down as well. And we went through right here next to whatever cable that is. Down below, ran it down, across behind the frame, and then put it on. And we have it plugged up. So now we just got to go back and zip tie that all down once we get done with everything else. But I guess for now, we are ready to go ahead and throw in our head unit, which didn't come with the exact brackets that I would have liked. These you can't use because they stick out too far unless I'm just an absolute knucklehead. I just use these flat brackets and have them pushed up against this, holding it into place, screwed in. So that's good to go. So on the back side, we're going to be plugging in. Oh, and this is how it goes. You would think that probably the cubby would be on the bottom, but it's actually on the top, at least in this case. So on the back side, we're going to be plugging in our rear camera input. Will it actually go into the reverse cam when you put it in reverse? I'm not exactly sure, because there's like no way, or the wires didn't have it to tie into like the reverse input. Maybe it's all built in. Don't know. Either way, we'll have the option to click the camera button and just view it there. But we're going to plug that in, of course. We'll plug in our microphone. Don't know what this guy is. Don't know what that guy is. The USB is for our wired Apple CarPlay, so we'll just get a cable that's USB on one side and then USB-C on the other for our phone. And that should be it. Didn't look into this aux. I don't know. We'll be plugging in our radio there. Maybe this is gonna have to be added. I'm not sure. Either way, we should be able to just throw this guy in there and then go ahead and put our head unit in and give it power and see if everything works. We got the rain creeping in on us, so we got to hurry up, but I just ran our Apple CarPlay wire across here under our AC vent and then down into the glove box. You can pinch the tabs in, drop it out, and then you can snake it right through there. I've got a very small cable because that's the only one that I could find. We'll get a new one once we, get a new one. Either way, we need to go ahead and start plugging things up. So for our mic, that is going to plug in right here. Just like that. And then our backup camera, we want to find rear input, take our cover off, plug that guy in, and then we need to go on our pack unit and look on here, find the rear input, and we're going to put these guys, say we're going to put these guys together. Yeah, we're putting these guys together. All right, that's the front. This is the rear. And then the fun part, we've got to tuck all this garbage in here and try to have room to get the radio in. Get the lower in. Lower is in. Top piece. Come on, lock in. Boom. All right, there she is, fully seated. Gosh dang it, it is a freaking pain in the butt sometimes. Now we're gonna drag this guy all the way down to get it above our air conditioning. And boom, there she is. First things first. It's a thing of beauty. Let's put the key to her. It is alive. Wow. All right, well, first things first. No signal. Oh, let's freaking go. Got the backup lines. We're gonna have to turn that freaking beep down, that is for sure. All right, well. Beep key. That is gonna be off now, right here apparently. We'll do all this later. Let's go to radio. Let's go home. Well, we got a lot of static going on. Boom, there we go. Now, one thing I immediately noticed, which is probably something that's been ongoing, I don't hear any audio coming out of that dang door over there, which, like I said, probably was like that before, and that was why the audio was terrible in here. Let's go ahead and connect our phone. See if Apple CarPlay works. Catching back up with y'all a couple days later while I waited on my USB to USB-C Apple CarPlay compatible cable to come in, because all the ones that I have were just chargers. They actually don't allow data to go through. But we officially have it in, and I've just got it ran like that. Now, I opted for the wired CarPlay because there's nothing more frustrating to me with the trucks that I have wireless Apple CarPlay with is when I'm filming them for it to connect and cut off the video. So I didn't care about it being wireless. I'll just go ahead and plug it in and be done with it. And they make these cables that are like 6 foot long, so you can run them anywhere that's convenient for you to have your phone plugged into it, and it will charge it as well. So I'm gonna give you the full rundown. I drove the truck today and yesterday, so I have some pretty good experience with it, but we're gonna go ahead and put the key to her, and we're just gonna walk through it, show y'all exactly how long it takes to boot up, things that I don't like, things that I do like, and everything in between. So our phone is sitting down there, and she just started charging, which is cool. And then this is going to boot up to the main menu. So for starters, no the reverse function. So when you put it in reverse, it doesn't automatically kick the camera on. That's not wired in, so it doesn't know. But it's as simple as just hitting your camera button, and it'll pop up. Well, first time, sometimes it pops that up, but then it'll show you your camera, which it is a little bit grainy, but this is a big screen, and going from, you know, literally no backup help at all, I'll take this all day long. It is super convenient, and I really enjoy that. So for starters, that is really nice to have Waze in Larry now, because, you know, our tires are off by like 7 miles per hour somehow, some way. I don't even know. These are only 33s. Either way, it is very convenient to have all of our Apple CarPlay stuff, and it works really good. If you want to get out of there, obviously you just hit home. It's pretty quick. This thing is, well, let me go into something I can scroll through. It's pretty responsive. So, you know, there is a little delay there, as y'all are seeing. It's a little jumpy, but for a, you know, affordable head unit, I'm very pleased with it. The only negative that I have found so far through driving is occasionally when I pull this thing down, I'll like clip that with the back of my hand, and it'll register it as a touch, and it'll go off of Apple CarPlay. Another cool thing, whenever you turn your lights on, it'll shift to dark mode. That's freaking convenient and awesome. The stereo is terrible because we only have one speaker working. I've already ordered new speakers. That's going to be in a following video. We're going to upgrade to all 4 that are in this truck, and it should have it sounding a whole lot better. And then I want to do a under seat sub box with an amp and subs. So if you have one of these trucks with a sub box, let me know what brand and where to get it from. But yeah, dude, I'm happy with her. I'm really happy with it, and I don't mind that it sticks out. Once again, that's not typically my style, but I think it looks good. It doesn't cover your air vents up, and truthfully, it does cover the controls up a little bit. But Larry didn't have AC, and it's summertime, so I'm not using those. Anyways, but yeah, this thing should have plenty of power for our upgraded speakers in the doors, and it'll allow us to hook up an amp, and you can hook up a front camera, you know, run CarPlay. Like literally, it's got basically everything that I would ever want, and I think it looks really good in here. And it's huge. It's 10-inch display. To have that in one of these old trucks is not easily done, because if you kept it in, like the inset one, it's going to be what, like a 6-inch tops. So you got a lot more screen here for sure, and I like it. So I really have no complaints. I'm pretty tickled with it. So anyways, there she is. Hope you enjoyed. Drop a comment, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, ring that bell notification, and I will see y'all boys in the next video.